Now, this is Bodie Ogle. He's the owner, operator, and grand poobah of this great place.
That may have to go on the business.
In fact, put that on your business card. I was super impressed. That was life-changing for me and Miss Marie. Great ride.
I think she's a little scared, but I think she had fun by the end there.
Well, as they watch the video, they're going to see how scared she really was. But we've talked about this. You face your fears because there's nothing to fear here. It's a ride. It's something you don't do every day. But I'm telling you, you've never been safer. I think it would be more prone for me to get hit with a meteor than it would be to fall off that zip line.
Well, we do a lot of training, a lot of experience here in our crew, and that's I never say this is a safe activity, because if you call it safe, you're ignoring what you're doing up there.
Exactly.
But we have an excellent safety record here. You know, the best way I had it explained, this is an inherently risky sport activity. Mm-hmm. It's at heights, it's outdoors, it's in the environment. You're up in the trees, and you also got tour guides up there too. But if we did this in an air-conditioned warehouse 5 foot off the ground, nobody'd want to do it.
Nobody would want to. And the thrill wouldn't be there.
It wouldn't.
The real thrill is when as soon as we stepped on that truck, it was thrilling to be on that truck and going up that mountain. And you'll see it in the video, and I'll put it while we're talking. You'll see we go up to the top, and then you get out.
We got one-of-a-kind transportation here.
And what is that, a hillbilly limousine?
That's one word for it. Yeah, the M35A3 is a deuce and a half.
It's a great truck.
A little bit fancier than what Rambo drove in the first movie there.
Yeah, definitely. But that was part of the ride, because it's not like you're going in a Lamborghini or a Cadillac. You know you're going to somewhere special when you start climbing up there and you get to that first level. And the tour guides are great.
From here to the top of our mountain.
How far?
About a mile.
Really? Yeah. That went fast?
It does. 5 to 10 miles, or 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how fast.
I didn't realize time went by that quick. And the nice thing is, the tour guides know everything. There's from the moment you walk into the dressing room where you're geared up, they don't let you go. They keep their eyes are kept on you.
A lot of time, a lot of training on that.
I can tell.
We have very little control over the property here, as far as we don't have the property to be the highest or the longest or the fastest, but we can treat you the best. And that's what we train our guys to do.
If you're nervous, they will put you at ease. They're funny. They're informative. They made the first few minutes, which you could tell everybody was nervous because a lot of newbies were on there. Myself, Marie, Richard, and I think, and there was a couple of other ones. Never been on a zip line, and you could feel the tension in the air. And as soon as they started cracking the jokes and making,
humor's a very, very useful tool.
Worked for me.
For putting people at ease.
It worked for me. And Miss Marie too. Your first ride, you're going to hear her scream. She didn't even get off the platform, and she was screaming. The next one, smooth. Finally, at the end, she's waving her hands and enjoying it.
That's good. So, normally the most scared are the ones that end up having the most fun.
And I think that you proved that to be true, because she really almost didn't come. Yeah. She was thinking of everything
It's been a couple of weeks trying to get her.
And it's like, all right, as soon as I talk to Ross, we got to get this straight. We're going to have Sunday off, and Bodie says we're going here now, so we're going. And she's, well, no, we need to go down to Keystone. Says no, we're zipping. We're going on Ziplines today. Yeah, it was frightening at first because I've never done it, but I figured, look, what's the worst that could happen?
Well.
But the harnesses, and you can see them in the video, I'll put them up on the screen. You are so triple, quadrupled strapped. It's not like they tied a rope to you.
Program here, as far as
and they checked it constantly. They were constantly making sure we were snug and everything was good, and I appreciate that.
Well,
I'm glad
they did what they're supposed to do.
And they never once let us feel uneasy on those platforms. And that was one thing that I was real mindful of, because it's a small platform.
You're always tied to something up there.
Oh, soon as we got off, you were hooked. Mm. There was no, even if you accidentally slipped, you're still hooked. Yeah. You weren't going anywhere. No. And they were very consistent with that. It was no goofing around. It was there to there in a fraction of a second. And people felt that. Mm. And that's what I like. Tell me about the zip line.
Well, been here since 2009. Mm-hmm. The course that you and Miss Marie rode today, we opened in Memorial Day of 2016.
Okay.
And that was part of Tennessee changing their regulations, which we've been a part of that process, helping guide the state with that since 2013.
How did they change it?
Well, if you look back, way back in the day, there really weren't that many regulations regarding zip lines in Tennessee, let alone many of the states. You had kind of agritourism, we're kind of lumped in with horseback riding, whitewater rafting, all great outdoor activities. And as times have changed and then the industry's changed, zipline has kind of evolved into more of an amusement device in the way that Tennessee looks at it, which I think is a positive step. We've got required annual inspections. We have permitting through the state now, and it's a very good process. It's still growing. It's a process that's in development. Tennessee, we're under ASTM regulations, but they also allow ACCT inspectors to inspect to those standards, and that's
how rigid are they with that?
It depends on the inspector, to be honest. We work with an excellent company, Experiential Systems, and they are top notch. They don't let us slide on nothing,
okay,
and that's kind of the inspector you want.
That's the kind of guy I want. I'm all for him. I'm his best friend.
Yeah.
So they check the lines, they check the harnesses, they check everything.
So there's an annual inspector. We'll have a third party inspector comes in once a year to look at the course, look at the equipment, the gear room, the harnesses, the helmets. And then we also have an annual arborist inspection. A certified arborist comes in, checks the health of our trees, makes sure that all of our processes for interacting with the trees and how we're pruning and
taking care of the trees,
because
they're taking care of you.
They're couldn't do it without them.
No, the business would be shut down.
People wouldn't want to look at a bare mountain either.
No, not at all. And everything looked in great shape up there.
Well, we were originally going to be a cabin development in 07.
No kidding.
And
I didn't know that.
Ding dong with the recession and.
Yes, and now, but I think this is a great
Ziplines.
move. I think this is smart.
It was a great move at the time, and it still is. It's a good business. We're small but mighty, I guess you'd say. We've got about 10 full-time guides right now, and they're more like family. I spend probably as much time with them as I do my real family.
Really, really. And how far are you from Pigeon Forge? Because I know it's really close.
So we're what we like to claim here, and what pretty much is a fact. We're the closest zip line to town that's actually outside of town. We're actually up in the mountains, up in the woods, but we're just 1.5 miles from Pigeon Forge traffic light.
It's amazing. To get here,
a mile and a half makes a difference.
It really, I mean, you can be in Pigeon Forge, the craziest 1.5 miles. It's like you went to the faraway mountains here, and the views are spectacular.
I'm glad you knew. They're
wow.
very good.
Well, I was wowed. I mean, of course, the leaves don't hurt. But,
I tell you, every season here has something different. In the summertime, it's booming. The town is busy. It's green. You get this time of year, of course, fall with the leaves color. The color change in the leaves. One of my favorites is kind of in the winter because, especially on the old course that was lower to the ground, that was one of the few times you realized you're on a mountaintop on our old course because the leaves weren't there and you could see the mountain. Now we've got to use year round.
Are you year round? So even if the snow?
January, February, we kind of die off a little bit. But
okay.
We definitely get some November, December weekends, weeks of the holidays. February, normally try to kick things off about President's Day weekend.
And what are the hours here?
Well, you can always get somebody on the phone 9 to 5.
Other
than that, tours, first tour of the day is always at 10 with a 9:30 check-in, and then last tours anywhere from 4:35, 5:36, depending on kind of the time of the year in the business.
And it is RSVP. You must make reservations.
I strongly recommend. There are occasional days when you can get lucky and roll the dice, but pretty much it's always best to have a reservation. That also that the way you pick your day with the weather, and much better process.
How many tours can you do a day?
Oh, it depends on how many people we can hire.
There's another
that's
situation,
been a challenging thing the last few years.
If you'd like to work here, get a hold of you.
Yeah. 865-679-9103. That's my direct line.
Direct line. If you want, what a job! What a great job! You get to fly around at the treetops and get paid to do it.
It is a job, but yeah, you get paid to zip line all day in, all day out. Guides will do 3 tours a day normally. We're like I say, first tour's at 10, last tour's normally around 4:35. It really is a unique experience here.
How long?
Working here.
It's about 2 hours, right?
Yeah, but
The whole event
depends on how nervous people are.
Well, yeah, and then that happened with Miss Marie because they're going, come on, you can hear the grumbling.
We allow 2 hours for each tour is basically kind of what the schedule is built around. Most tours will finish, a full tour, which would be 8 to 9 people, finishes sometime between an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Very good. So
sometimes you get some very good zippers that put it all together and know when to step up on the box and when not to, and things might finish a little sooner, but pretty much count on an hour and a half to 2 hours here.
And the nice thing is you do supply nice cold water at number 4 or 5.
Yeah, about halfway through, a little bit past halfway through the course. We don't want to give it to you too early because there's no bathrooms up there.
There are no bathrooms. We hope that you hold it till you get here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of nice because it's cold water and your mouth does get dry because you're breathing hard and that wind is blowing. And of course your attention.
Especially in the summertime, it gets hot up there.
Imagine how hot it gets up there.
You're ready for that water by then.
This is a beautiful time to come. So if you're thinking about zipping, now is the time to get a hold of Smoky Mountain Ziplines. The number again?
865-429-9004. That's our main base camp. Like I say, if you're employment, 865-679-9103. That's my number.
That's your personal number.
If you'd like to make a reservation with us, 865-429-9004. That'll ring to the main base camp here. We're here. Somebody's on the phones every day, 9 to 5, sometimes later. You can book 24/7 online. Happy to have you book that way. Does charge a little bit of a credit card fee, but
it's worth it.
Like I say, save money, call in on the phone, and that way you get to talk.
There
to
it is.
us too.
Look, there you go. See, and there's a coupon. What's that all about?
So ticket this year is $99.95. We do have some bad inflation going on.
Yeah, you do.
But so it's $99.95. But with that reservation there, you take 15 off and bring it down to $84.95 each plus Tennessee sales tax.
And worth it.
I think it is. It's you get a lot of bang for your buck here. We got the deuce and a half truck ride to and from the mountain.
The
free
thrill
drinks at our
alone.
Base camp.
That's right. You got free drinks here.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
On the mountain.
Nice
we
bathrooms. It's really sweet, and a deck to die for. Look at this deck. And if they could play, what was that, cornhole over there?
We got cornhole. We got ladder toss, they call it. Got checkers inside.
It's really nice. It's very homey. Very, very homey. I have a log cabin. And that's the gear room. That's where you're going to walk into. That's where they set you up. And you come out, and you go into that cool truck that's right there. What is that again?
It's a deuce and a half.
Deuce and a half.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what you can buy on Craigslist.
Really?
True story. All three of them that we use here.
You got that on Craigslist? That looks like old Army stuff, right?
It is. Uncle Sam paid $250,000 a truck back in the day. 25 years ago.
And they're workhorses.
Oh,
I mean, they're meant to do.
That's the only thing that we've found to take 12 people up a hill.
Really? That'll hold 12? And it effortlessly it went up that hill, and it was really steep. Right up to the top where we started, and they backed right in and out the thing, and he's gone. And what I liked about it was when we were done with the tour, Britt called ahead, and by the time we finished getting down to the bottom, that truck was pulled right in.
Oh, yeah,
it was that quick. There was no wait.
We're coming off of a hot summer. We don't like to keep you waiting up there.
No, I appreciate that. But it was a true experience that made me see things a little bit different in the world of zipping, because I never knew it's so safe. So automatically stops. Marie's going, I'll slam into a tree. And then I looked up online, I read all about it. I go, you're automatically stopped. You're not going to slam into anything.
Yeah, we use guide-operated braking systems here, the ABS system. And
it works.
Designs. It works pretty good.
Because this big old body was sailing down that zip line. And as soon as I came, it just slowed right down. Yeah. And I stepped on the deck.
We do a lot of training with our staff to run
They're really good
here,
at that.
Smooth.
Really good. And they taught me how to steer it. I didn't know you could steer on a zip line. I didn't know that.
Those new handlebars help.
That little handlebars, they turn.
Some have rode with us in the past. The handlebars are something we've added here just in the last probably 18 months or so.
Really, really good, and it does work. It really. I was able to direct myself to the video, and you'll see that in the rest of the video here. I could actually shoot what I was seeing instead of at the whim of some other zip lines. You'd be spinning around like a whirling dervish.
We've been guilty of that too.
Oh, I bet. Until you got.
We found the right handlebar system. Friends over at Bonsai Design, and that's we get around in the industry, and that's
yes, you do, and you're well known, and a beautiful place, folks, in the Smoky Mountains. Please check it out. You got $15 off. Zip Tours. Take your family adventure to new heights, and you will be doing that. And of course, if you haven't checked it out, go online, check out their site. Tells you everything about it. Safety is first. Certified guides, family friendly, educational, minimal walking. I barely walked 10 steps. That was it. If you can't walk, don't worry. We'll get you there.
That's the canopy tour side of it.
That's it. It was
zip
sweet.
lines, and then you got canopy tours, which is fancy for a bunch of zip lines in the forest.
Fancy word for just a bunch of trees. But there it is. So I'll put the map on there. Check out, of course, Smoky Mountain zip lines. I'll put up there one more time, and of course I'll be doing editing and all this stuff right there. 865-429-9004. And Bodie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was very kind of you, and real experience in my life. One of those that I won't forget, and Miss Marie will never forget.
Every season's different, so
we'll
see you back here in a couple of months.
And we'll update that video. Okay. Thank you, Bodie.